My collection of 6 pieces starts with my little boats. I initially made one boat, which is made with water-soluble fabric, stitched into the shape of the hull of the boat and then moulded over a clay mould, which I've made in 3 different sizes. I made about 20 of these boats. The red boat depicts strength and a determination to succeed and to win and to find the way out. I contacted and collaborated with a photographic student from OCA who superimposed my boats upon the water, which I felt I had tried to do myself and taken them down and photographing them on the cliff overlooking the sea. But by collaborating with this student, he's actually been able to use Photoshop and be able to really make my boats look as though they're floating on the water. My second piece is of this sort of skull-like structure of which random thoughts are emerging. And I think we've all felt like this at some stage in our life, but when you are very isolated and lonely and in a very difficult place, these thoughts become very random, very disconnected, and difficult to make sense of. The skull-like structure is constructed with silk organza and water-soluble fabric, and the words spilling from the brain is just stitching on water-soluble fabric, which has been rinsed away. My third piece is of the brain cells. I have 24 of these cells, which go from the one on the top left-hand corner down to the very bottom one, where the cells are gradually diminishing in size. And this was an inspiration I had from a neurologist who said to me once, after I'd had a CT scan, he said, "It's all working, my dear, but use it or lose it." He said, brains need creativity, they need sustenance, they need to be used. And I think this is very much, if you're isolated and lonely, is another concern, that we need to use our brains and we need to keep them working. And this is, again, where it's so important for people having problems with isolation and loneliness is to actually access some therapy and some care. My fourth piece is of a tunnel, and this was made using abaca tissue, which I dyed and then used with water soluble, and it's the combination of the water soluble medium with the wax dyeing that actually made a rather interesting surface structure. Each piece, each strip before it was plaited was stitched so that you have this vein-like, blood-like network running right the way through all the plaited pieces. The life is beginning to emerge. It's just coming there. It's in the depths of the tunnel and is beginning to emerge and fall on down out of the tunnel. The leaves are made with water-soluble fabric, stitched, some with silk organza, others with just the thread. The fifth piece is of Alice's tunnel. And this is a piece that I've constructed. And it did make me feel, yes, this when I was in a pretty difficult place in my life, I actually felt as though I was in a tunnel and I wasn't sure of the way out, and life seemed so incredibly fragile at the time. And I hung these stitched circles, again made with water-soluble fabric, which has been removed, onto an acrylic rod so they actually look as though they're suspended in midair. And my final piece is of the stitched circles. And I think we all feel that life is a circle. We go round in circles. And with this piece, there are 6 individual squares with a circle stitched upon them. But each square, the circle is gradually forming. It's improving, it's becoming richer, it's becoming stronger as we heal and our lives mend and we become back to normal. We are no longer that fragile thread, we are becoming stronger. And this is my collection of 6 pieces.